Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today we're going to be doing a fun video. So as you guys may have noticed, I've been doing a couple of these videos here and there where I get lots of booktubers to recommend different books to you guys. So for today's video, they are going to be recommending contemporary books. And this is a genre that I really love. This is probably in one of my top genres, and I really like books from the contemporary genre, so I think that this is going to be really fun. I'm going to get some recommendations from these booktubers. I hope you guys get some recommendations too. And yeah, I think it's going to be a blast. There are quite a few recommendations, so be prepared for lots of them. But anyways, let's dive into it and see what everybody recommended. Also, all these booktubers, their channels will be in the description down below, so definitely go give these guys a follow because I'm sure that you will find so many more books to read from all of these amazing booktubers from all around the world. That's the best part. I love doing these collaboration videos because these booktubers are literally from everywhere around the world, so it feels like I'm just connecting with a whole bunch of people and just having like a big party, and it's so fun. So yeah, definitely go check all these booktubers out. Without further ado, let's get into the recommendations.
Hi everybody, my name is Lindsay from the channel Studio Lindsay. I like reading a lot of different genres from books, graphic novels, comics, and manga, but I tend to gravitate toward slice of life, fantasy, creative nonfiction, and of course, contemporary. Today, I am here to recommend my favorite YA contemporary romance series, which is Once Upon a Con by Ashley Poston. In publication order, these books are Geekerella, The Princess and the Fangirl, and my favorite in the series, Bookish and the Beast. The Once Upon a Con series is a series of modern-day fairy tale retellings, Cinderella, The Prince and the Pauper, and Beauty and the Beast respectively. And this series is a love letter to nerd culture. The books feature a fictional sci-fi franchise called Starfield, and at least one lead character from each book is a major fan. So we have conventions, we have cosplayers, we have fan artists, we have book nerds, and we have actors from the film reboot that is in this entire series as well. This series also features LGBTQ+ representation in every book, including but not limited to a sapphic relationship in the second book, which is a main romance, and a bisexual lead character in the third book. This series also makes me really happy. I connected with the writing and the characters so much, and I wanted all of the characters to have happy endings, and I just flew through each book and I loved each book. This series is cute, it's funny, it's nerdy, and it's fluffy, and I really hope you get to pick it up.
Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Kathleen from MK Books. Thanks again to Eric for letting me participate in another one of these collaboration videos. And for this one, we're recommending contemporary novels. And I'm gonna get a little more specific and recommend a contemporary YA. So for this one I was thinking, what's one that's not super well known but is also an all-time favorite for me? And the one that fits the bill for that description for me is Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. And on one level, this is a very typical contemporary YA novel about our main character Vic, whose father has recently died, and his mother is dating someone new, and he gets upset with her one night and storms out with his father's urn. And when he opens the urn, he finds a note asking for his ashes to be spread in 10 different locations. But the note is meant for the mother, and so the locations are things that only she would know, and so Vic begins a mission to spread his father's ashes at these locations. And he meets this group of kids who are homeless, living in someone's greenhouse, and they befriend him and decide to help him in his mission to spread his father's ashes. So on one level, a pretty typical YA novel with a bunch of great kids with lots of heart. The book has a lot of heart as well. But also there's this other side of the novel in that at the beginning of each part of the novel, two of the kids are in an interrogation room being interviewed by police about a murder. So you've also got this mystery going through the whole book of wondering how the situation that you're reading about leads to a murder, who is murdered, who is the murderer, and yeah, so it puts a little spin and intrigue on your typical contemporary YA. And this one isn't super popular. It's got like less than 10,000 ratings on Goodreads, but I think it definitely should be more popular. So for a contemporary novel, and more specifically a contemporary YA, I would recommend Kids of Appetite by David Arnold.
Hey there, I'm Kayla from KJandherbooks over on YouTube and Instagram. I love Disney, The Simpsons, Taylor Swift, and historical fiction. I have almost 20 different editions of Pride and Prejudice, and I am absolutely terrified of E.T. My contemporary recommendation for you today is an Australian story about a young girl who is trying to work out what she wants to do and who she wants to be while dealing with mental health struggles and past trauma. That book is The Truth and Addie Lowest by Kim Kelly. Absolutely loved this book and I highly recommend it. It's short and quick, but it was beautifully done.
Hi guys, my name is Hugo and I'm from the channel Scientist Reading World. Yes, I'm a real scientist. I'm especially a chemical engineer who focus more on the field of catalysts. Basically, I search catalysts, which are things that we use to make the world better. Yes, I combat climate change, so that's cool. But in my channel, the Scientist Reading World, I just do the normal book stuff, you know, challenge, book tags, reviews. I read a lot of fantasies, historical fiction, thrillers. I really like good North Europe thriller because it's very dark. They are very good. I loved it. And thank you again, Eric, for inviting me for this collaboration. And I want to talk to you about today is one of my favorite contemporaries. It was one of my favorite contemporaries last year, which is My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies, or in the American title, My Grandmother Sends His Sorries by Frederick Backman. This book is amazing. The writing style can be a little bit strange for some people, but it's really good. It's about this girl with 7 years old named Elsa, whose grandmother recently passed away, and she was very connected to his grandmother. But her grandmother has some cards, some letters that she has been delivered to people, sending her regards and apologies to people. And she includes Elsa with a mission to protect the castle. From the beginning, we don't know what the castle is, but we know that Elsa will fulfill her grandmother's wishes, and we know that she will find new friends because she's very outcast. She doesn't have many friends. So what the grandmother did was to create a community for Elsa and to make Elsa knowing more about her grandmother, because she has like this idolation and she doesn't know the real grandmother, why she fights so much with her mother. So it's very cute, it's very heartwarming, it has punchlines that will make you cry, it will make you so emotional, and then 2 pages later you will be laughing out loud. So I totally recommend it if you want a good contemporary. This is my choice.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandra and I'm from the channel Gotathingforthings. The contemporary book I'm gonna recommend for you today is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and it follows Felix Love, who has never actually been in love. He also feels it's hard to find love when he has so many different identities, black, queer, trans, and he's really struggling to find out if he even deserves love at all, which he of course does, but it is hard to find out this as a teenager. When he's starting to get transphobic messages and someone denies him in front of the whole school, he's trying to go into this kind of catfish game to find out who's behind this all, and kind of ends up in a really weird love triangle while also trying to figure out other things about his identities. It is truly great. I screamed, I cried, and it is one of the best books I ever read, and I really need to reread it soon, and you should really pick this up and read this amazing book.
Hey guys, my name is Miss, and you might know me from my YouTube channel, Miss Hashmi, or through my book blog, which is Myths and Misadventures, or you might have seen me floating around somewhere on Twitter. Over the past couple of months, I've started reading a lot of contemporary novels, especially contemporary romances. My favorite book so far has been something that I read this year. It's called Counting Down With You by Tashi Bhuyan. So I like this book for so many different reasons. If you hear like a tiny bell, it's my cat. It kind of resonated with me for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's written by a South Asian author. It deals with a lot of issues and a lot of themes that are very prevalent in South Asian families. Tashi is a Bangladeshi, so she has written, in the context of Bangladeshi culture, and it's something that I really relate to. But what I liked about this book was that it has such a wide appeal for so many different kind of people, and it deals with themes such as, messy families. That was my cat. It deals with a lot of complicated themes such as, messy families, which is a very universal problem. It also deals with, the differences between the experiences of a girl versus the experiences of a guy. What I love about this book is the writing. Tashi has a very energetic writing style and it's very easily relatable. It's funny, it's heartwarming. It also has an amazing grandmother-grandchild relationship, which is so wholesome to read. It's just such a sweet book, and I've fallen so deeply in love with the characters, with the writing, and with just the overall story. It's so heartfelt, it's so important also, because it talks about how you should be strong enough to follow your dreams, and how to get that kind of strength. My cat is now tickling my foot. I wonder if he'll want to make an appearance. He's kind of shy. Say hi.
Hello, my name is Elise and I run the YouTube channel The Petite Punk. I almost exclusively read contemporary fiction, so thanks Eric for including me. I also have Eric's bookmark here. You should all grab one. They are very cute. But for my recommendation, I am choosing Summer Bird Blue. This is a young adult contemporary book about a girl named Rumi, and she has a sister that ends up dying right at the beginning of the book. So the entire book explores these feelings of grief and anger. However, Rumi has a lot to deal with, more than just the death of her sister, because her mom is really not taking this grieving thing very well. The sister was kind of the favorite sister, and Rumi is dealing with these conflicting feelings of really missing her sister, but also feeling like her mom is just throwing her aside because she wasn't the favorite. So Rumi is sent to Hawaii to live with another family while her mother is figuring everything out, and there's just a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of confusion. If you like books that mainly deal with emotions and character development, this is a great one. You're not going to read this for the plot. There's not a lot of plot here. It's mainly just figuring things out in the world and feeling a lot of despair and confusion and abandonment, and it's just a really beautiful book that explores all of those very difficult emotions. So if you want some great feely type of book that will make you sad, this is a good one. It also has a asexual main character, which was really lovely to see. So I hope you all enjoy this book.
Hi guys, this is Preet from the channel The Bookish Nook, and I make a lot of bookish videos like vlogs, anime and manga, vlogs and reading journal and Dhivya game and a lot of exciting things. So today the contemporary book that I'll be talking about is Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and I really love this book by Talia Hibbert. So I really like the writing style and the way she portrays the character. The main plot about the book is that our main character Danica or Dani Brown, she gets stuck in this lift of her school where she's working, and our other main character Zafir, he takes her out from the lift during this mock drill in his arms, and the video of them coming out is like taken by someone and it goes viral. Zafir was a very popular rugby player and has stopped playing because of personal issues, and because of that he has started a charity setup where he actually emotionally trains these rugby players. So because of this whole video going viral, he asked Danica, can they fake date? And Danica is like, why not, like, help him out with the charity stuff and everything. So it's basically fake dating trope and friends to lovers, and it's really good. I really love her writing style. It's very comical, very witty, so I would definitely recommend you to read this one.
It's Cinderella set in modern day, where the main character Ellie is a huge fan of the sci-fi TV show Starfield and wants to not attend a ball, but a sci-fi convention with the help of her coworker from the vegan food truck she works at called Magic Pumpkin. Along the way, she falls for another Starfield fan who she's been mysteriously texting. So this has tons of pop culture references to stuff like Star Wars and Star Trek. So like I said, this is book one in this awesome pop culture reference-filled series. The other ones are based off of Prince and the Pauper and Beauty and the Beast. So if you're up for a contemporary that's based off a fairy tale, Geekerella is for you. So like they say in the series, go and Armora up and read this.
Hello, my name is Katie from the channel Kitcatscanread, and the contemporary book that I am recommending to you guys today is I'll Be the One by Lola Lee. This is the story about Sky, who dreams of entering this K-pop competition, and so she can become like a great singer, great dancer. It's something that she has great ambition in, and the trouble is she is overweight, so she's kind of like deemed like, oh my goodness, like how could you enter this competition, there's no way you'll go far. And she enters it to try to prove to everybody that it doesn't matter what size that you are, it just matters about your passion. There are various LGBT characters in this, including the main character who is bisexual. There are other bisexual characters, there's lesbian characters. Yeah, very, very LGBT. And if you really enjoy your K-pop and anything sort of like stage related, like if you enjoy shows, then you really like this. It's full of such positivity, fat rap as well with the main character, and friendship and just family and everything. Yeah, really good. And there is a romance along the way, and it's just like one of the sweetest ever. And if you just want a book that you absolutely just devour and will make you feel happy at the same time, that gives you the sort of same like happy vibe as like the Heartstopper graphic novel volumes, and this is the sort of book that I could recommend to you guys, and more people should give it a read, and I totally recommend it.
Namaste guys, I'm Dhivya from channel named Celebrityreadshush. Thank you Eric for having me on your channel for this collaboration. So the book I'm going to recommending you for the contemporary fiction is 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. So I really don't know if you have read this book or if you have even heard about this book or not, because this book is quite famous works of Khaled Hosseini, and I read this book last year, I think in the start of this year only, and absolutely fell in love with this book. So the two main leads of this book are Maryam and Layla. Both life journey are just terrible in this book. How Maryam, who was called as a bastard harami because she was not actually the daughter of the wife of her father, who was actually a wealthy man, and how the other wives of her father actually sold her to this years and years older man than her just to get rid of her. And how her story starts there, how he was actually loving in the start, but as soon as their son, who was going to, like, she was birthing, died, she had miscarried or something, and then how he treated her after, and how then Layla came into picture when Taliban's attacked, and how she again was a little girl, and that husband of Maryam, who was so older at that time, took Layla as his wife, told her lies about her lover. And just what I heard about this book was that this book is quite an emotional read, but what I felt while reading this book was frustration and so much anger, because it's of course is an emotional read, but reading the story of these two women made me so frustrated. At like every page, just frustration was written on my face every time. And after completing this book, I was so immersed in the thoughts that how the women of Afghanistan faced this whole ordeal all the time, and we don't even know if they are facing this at this time also. So I would highly recommend you to read this book. If you have never read this book is just so good, such a masterpiece. I just highly recommend you to read this book.
Hi, I'm Anna from the book Dreamer Sally, and I'm going to recommend Monday's Not Coming. This is a book about Claudia, who's a teenager, who suddenly one day sees her best friend doesn't seem to be anywhere. She seems to have disappeared. So she starts looking for her, and Monday's her best friend. She starts looking for her, talking to everybody, and there are things being unveiled along the way that I cannot tell because I would spoil it. But the thing is all about Claudia's ordeal and her family's ordeal, also to help her finding Monday. And there are trigger warnings for this one: child neglect, child abuse, mainly, but it's totally worth a go. Tiffany D. Jackson does a masterful job with this book.
Christopher is 15 years old, but he's not like any other teenagers. He knows all of the prime numbers, but he also hates being touched. In The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, Mark Haddon gives us a very vivid portrait of a life of an autistic teenager. Christopher decides to investigate the death of the dog of his neighbors, and he really makes up his mind that he needs to figure out what happened. While the mystery element of the book remains relatively limited, it is an absolutely touching and endearing story where we get to see the world through Christopher's eyes from a perspective that we're really not used to. But also we are to sympathize with the people around him who constantly have to put up with his quirks and his very peculiar needs. It is a book that will make you laugh and will make you cry, but it's one that I would really highly recommend.
Hi, I'm Aoife from Pretty Purple Polka Dots, and Eric asked me to take part in this and to recommend to you a contemporary book that I definitely think you should read. So my recommendation for you is I Heart New York and the continuation of the I Heart series by Lindsay. This book was such an eye-opener for me because it's something that I had also experienced. I had, like Angela, the main character in this book, completely left my life behind, moved to a new country, found new friends, set up a new life, and if that is something that you have ever done or that you have ever considered doing, this book and the entire series is definitely going to resonate with you.
Hello, my name is Kira and my channel is TheBookBella, and I want to talk about one of my favorite romantic contemporary books that I have ever read. It is actually self-published. It's called From Lukoff with Love by Mariana Zapata, and this is a figure skating romance, enemies to lovers, so much perfection in just this book. Like, this is actually a thicker book, thicker than most romances like that I see. This is a slow burn romance, and it is so slow that we have almost 500 pages of pure, amazing angst. After reading like this book, I have such a respect for slow burn romance, and this follows our main character Jasmine, who participates in couple skating all up until her boyfriend cheated on her and left her for another figure skater. So she's been going to this rink all by herself, and she ends up getting an offer from Lukoff, who's her best friend's brother. She hates Lukoff because Lukoff is very privileged. They actually do discuss in here like a little bit about classism in figure skating, and I really love that too, but Lukoff and Jasmine absolutely hate each other, and there is just so much angst. It's such a slow progression into a romance. This book I wouldn't say like is super steamy, like there's some steamy portions like there towards the end, but overall like this is more angst and more chemistry and more unadulterated hatred for each other, like with a passion. I am now spoiled for slow burn romances because this book took so long to get into the actual romance portion of it, and I loved it because like it was just so perfectly built up. I feel like it was really easy for us to really like get into the relationship and how it built up like into being more than that. So definitely like read From Lukoff with Love by Mariana Zapata if you like enemies to lovers, figure skating, and slow burn romances.
And those are all the recommendations from booktubers around the world. I hope you guys really enjoyed those. I hope some of these were books that piqued your interest and now you want to go check them out. Like I said before, definitely give all those booktubers a follow down below and let me know which recommendation was your favorite. And now for our independent bookstore shoutout.
Okay guys, so today's independent bookstore shoutout is for Salt Spring Books, which is in Salt Spring Island, British Columbia. This is their website. It's not too big. They don't have that much on it. They just have some basic reels on the front, which have new releases. So check out all these new releases coming out. Or I guess a lot of these are already out, but new releases. And then of course, if you want to browse everything they have, you can check it out here and you can order it online. So their website is saltspringbooks.ca.
If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.